So tell the people about Imagodei.
All right. So, Imagodei Academy. So my background, I was a public school teacher. I taught in the school system for a couple of years. But when I got pregnant with my oldest son, the Lord just started dealing with my heart about being a stay-at-home mom. And that was not in my plans. I was like, stay at home and do what? Like that. And do what? Like, I want to know what you want me to do. Like, bake cookies. Like, this is not what I'm playing. Like, I'm educated. I need to be using my degree, you know? So here I am thinking I know what's best for me. But he really spoke to my heart, and he was like, you know, if you don't, listen to what I'm telling you, something's going to suffer. It's either going to be your marriage, your career, or your children. And I didn't want any of that to happen. Right. X. Any of that to happen. And so, you know, of course, you're thinking like, well, how can I make all three work? But he's just so kind and gentle, just tugging at my heart just to be obedient. And I was like, okay, well, you know, the timing worked out good. I was able to close out my final year of teaching because my oldest was born in May. So kind of went to summertime and just started staying home. And, you know, I enjoy the summer. It was great, you know, with my baby and just spending that time together. But the hard part was the next school year. When all my friends and coworkers are going back and setting up the classrooms, and I'm like, man, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I'm just sitting here, I'm just breastfeeding, like little guy. I'm just I'm not getting nothing back, you know. But the Lord just slowly began to unfold the plans that He had for me, and so it started with going back to get my master's degree, and then from the program that I was in, I was introduced to the concept of having a biblical worldview. And so from there was where Imagodei Academy was birthed, where I take my experience as a public school teacher, helping families homeschool with the Christian curriculum. And so the motto for Imagodei Academy is redeeming education through a biblical worldview, breaking down that sacred and secular divide when it comes to education and showing that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge in all areas of education. So not just Bible, but in math, He's a God of order. Science and creation. You know, people don't like to talk about history, the good, bad, and the ugly of it, but the Bible is a historical text. And so we need to look at history from a biblical lens so we can really see how we're supposed to treat each other in humanity. You know, loving our neighbor as ourselves, you know, loving God. What does that really look like? And so in just all the areas, but helping students to know that education helps them drive and to understand the purposes that God has for their lives. You know, you could be a doctor for Christ. You could be a social worker for Christ. You know, ministry is just not within the four walls of the church. Your ministry is whatever purpose the Lord has for you. And so starting them as them babies and matriculating all the way up in their education, empowering parents to parent well and to disciple their children, and just to know that education is a full round experience. It's just not in the classroom. It's just not that sacred and secular divide, but the Lord should be intertwined into everything that we do every single day.